Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Libra, our card today is the Four of Wands, which has everything to do with completion and teamwork and building and growth and really solidifying the dang old thing. So, always a very happy card to find. Now, let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And I'm going to apologize. There is noise around. Maybe you can hear it, maybe you can't. We have been flooding. Of course, we move into a new house, and the first year we have more rain than they've had in this area, and I think it's like been 40 years or something. So we had some flooding in the studios, unfortunately, but we've been working diligently to get everything kind of safe and sandbagged and tarped, and oh my goodness, I woke up at like 6 in the morning. I was out there drenched in the rain like a wet dog. So we'll see what happens these next couple of days because it's supposed to keep raining. But anyway, so that's the sound. There's fans going. Okay, fans to help dry the floors out. Now, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. All right, let's see what we got going on here. I know, I'm kind of in a silly mood. I do that. I'm like one of those people, I freak out for a second, then I get real focused, and then I get silly because it's just the absurdity of things. You know, all right, let's see. So immediately I noticed that we have a lot of spread out. It's just spread out. It's kind of an anxious bowl, okay? When we have kind of these really scattered tea leaves, it makes me think that there's quite a bit of, it can be anxiety, but it could just be kind of a chaos, a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, okay? Now, if anybody can deal with getting through a chaotic situation, it is a Libra, right? You all are always kind of striving for that balance that is really quite innate to you. Are you always in a state of balance? No, of course not. Who is, right? But I do think that when things start to get hectic, yeah, you're good at kind of being the person that goes into action mode. Okay, you're not going to flee. Now, we do have, speaking of fleeing, we do have a horse here. You can see a person riding on the horse. It looks like they are kind of really galloping, right? On the way, gallop, 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 getting out of there. So, I'm seeing that we also have the cow up there. My goodness, Hawthorne has been in a lot of readings lately. So we have the cow's head, we have the body here, okay? And then over here, it looks like we have a person who has the Ace of Cups, which is right here. You can see, if we turn it this way, here's the Ace of Cups. Okay, now this person looks like they've thrown it. They've thrown it over. Now we have a person on a horse galloping away. We also have this mother figure up here. So I immediately feel that there's almost a sense of maybe your caretaker, your mother, whoever raised you, grandmother, older sister. It doesn't have to be like the primary care person of your life, but somebody who did, spend a lot of time with you. They're a role model. They took, great care to be in your life. Now I feel that they probably had, or have even, it could still be going on, maybe a troubled relationship. Okay. Their marriage maybe was volatile. There maybe was, even beyond that, some amount of mistreatment and, maybe even worse than that. Okay. Now I see the person here throwing over that cup, that Ace of Cups, the Grail, right? And so the Grail, in my estimation, is a symbol of the vessel of the emotional waters. Okay, so when we see it filled, right, then it's, there is a pretty healthy emotional state. There is a kind of very intact life and receptiveness to the waxing and waning of emotions, right? Good, bad, in between, the spectrum of things that happen in our lives, being able to kind of navigate those pretty well. Now, when we see it broken or empty or being tossed over, we know that there's some issues going on with those emotional things. So I also see, the horse and the person on top. And I feel like this is that mother, grandmother, sister, whoever it is, right? I mean, and it doesn't have to be that it is the mother, but we have Hathor up here. So I feel like this is a mother energy. Now, it could be the father as well, right? Maybe the father has a deep connection to the mother archetype, right? So I don't want to really gender it exactly, but I do get the impression that maybe this is a mother figure, right? So leaving the situation, I feel like there was probably some kind of ordeal that came up, and it was, maybe not the only one, but it was something serious enough that they thought, okay, I have to exit this relationship. I have to leave. This was a very monumental event, right, in everybody's lives. This affected everybody. It needed to happen, though, right? They needed to get away from this situation. If we understand what somebody's going through or not, right, especially when it's a family member, because we like to often, I think, for our own protection, for our own well-being, and kind of just believing, okay, everything was fine with them. I don't understand why they would break up. Or, well, yeah, he was maybe a little bit mean sometimes, or said some names, or maybe she was very reactive or jealous or controlling or whatever, right? But I don't think that there was a lot of problems. And, we often do this with family, with friends, with people that we see and know. And beneath it, there's maybe a lot more going on, And also, really, as I get older, I realize you really don't need a reason to explain to anybody why a relationship's not working for you. It does not have to escalate to, the point where, unacceptable things are happening. If even just the most minor things happen and you feel uncomfortable in a relationship, that should be enough. Nobody should question that. It's none of their business, ultimately. So but that being said, right, when somebody like your parents or your grandparents or your, beloved aunt and uncle or whoever it is, they break up, yeah, it's understandable to be sad about that, to mourn that, to take sides, even if it's not really a situation where sides should be taken, or sometimes we side with the person who is the aggressor. And you know why? I don't know, but it happens. You know, it does. It is a place where we can learn, though, right? And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know, it almost seems cyclic to me. Now we have the wheel. We have this wheel of completion. We have the kind of fires that, if you could think, you know, just turning and turning and turning. And, you know, I wonder if you have yourself ended up in a relationship that has a dynamic that is pretty similar. Now, I think that you probably have the tools because you've witnessed this kind of thing. You have the tools to think, okay, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. I'm not going to stay in this dynamic. This is not the person for me. I won't be treated that way. You know, something like this. Now, I used to talk about this a lot in my early readings, and I don't know why I've gotten away from it, but, you know, I think it's something that's important to consider and to talk. And, you know, I talk about difficult things on this channel. It's maybe not always the fortune that people want to hear, and it maybe is not about you at all. But I think it's important that we all have at least the idea of these kinds of, you know, resources or action plans or whatever. So if you're in a situation where it's beyond just mistreatment, maybe you are afraid to leave, maybe you don't have you don't have an exit plan, you don't have the resources to leave, you are in a situation where you have been isolated, alienated, disenfranchised. And this happens. It happens to a lot of people, a lot of us, okay? I myself have been in a situation, I wouldn't say it was extraordinarily bad compared to other things I've heard, but yeah, I kind of understand. I have been in a place where I did not know how to leave, okay? There are places that you can reach out to. It's important that you have support people. If you can reach back out to family, please be careful doing that. If you are in a very controlling situation where somebody is watching what you're doing, going through your communications, please be mindful and careful. Start to make a plan though, okay? Make a plan for yourself. Put away a little bit of money wherever you can. Now, you might be somebody who doesn't work. Maybe they didn't want you to work or whatever. Please just be careful. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And if you are able to document what is happening, please do that as well. But if it is going to put you at risk, don't do that, right? I don't, you know, but there are resources, okay? There are places for both men and women and other, if you don't identify as a man or a woman, right? Start reaching out where you can, okay? I know it's not a fun conversation that I'm having right now, but it is one that is close to my heart, and I hope it is close to the heart of every person, right? We've all experienced, or at least in passing have seen people in situations. We might think, why don't you just leave? I would just leave, right? I would just get up out of there. Nobody's going to treat me that way. Well, you don't know until you're in this situation. You have no idea what that feels like. You have no idea what it's like to have no money and kids, and somebody who, you know, is making it difficult for you to have relationships with your family, or, you know, whatever. So, you know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I don't know if it's to this degree for you. But I think that this is you coming into the realization that there is a repeating history here through the family. And often that is the case, right? Now, this isn't a dynamic that I repeated from my family, but I have myself repeated other destructive behaviors, lifestyles, you know. And so even when you say, I'll never be that person, I'll never be in that situation. I've watched, you know, my grandmother go through it and have no help and finally get away. And it was awful. It was a terrible time for her and everybody else involved. I'll never do that. And then you find yourself in a similar situation. So we must refrain from judgment. We must. It's hard, I know, but we must. And so I look at this and I think, yeah, you are coming into a place where you are realizing, yeah, there might be some commonality here. And this might be a time where, you know, I have to make some changes. I'm not fleeing the situation, but I'm deciding I want to live my life in such a way. And that might be that, you know, you have to go to counseling, or, you know, a couples counselor, or be by yourself for a while, right? And maybe this has all come to pass already, you know. This is something that you have worked on, and maybe your life is quite different. And I hope that is the case, because it can change. I feel like I am a testament to being able to change your life. If you would have known me 20 years ago, you would have no idea who I was. I mean, I absolutely was out of control. And, you know, surrounded by people that, you know, I have love for them as human beings, but I would never be around them now, you know, partying and you know, just kind of this more morbid lifestyle, right? It just was not who I am now at all. Not at all. But you can change. You can absolutely change. Don't let anybody ever tell you that you cannot change your life. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you can change your life. Okay? So I feel, yeah, there's a lot of a sense of chaos, a sense of you know, of action though. And we have that fiery wand energy here as well. So we know there is that moving, creative river of transformative fire, electricity flowing through your life. Okay? There's no giving up here. No, because you have the power. You have the power. And now going to this idea of teamwork, I feel that, yeah, you absolutely, and I'm seeing we have a person here handing up to this person. There's a person standing right there, handing something up. Okay, so I feel, and then we have another person here, and I feel like it really is this kind of chain of people helping, lending a hand, rebuilding. Okay, coming together in a time of need. And so I absolutely feel like where maybe at times you felt, you know, maybe even forsaken by your family, your chosen family, your friends, So often when we have a friend who is in a relationship that they keep like leaving and going back to, or they're always having problems, and you say, well, you gotta leave. You gotta do something. And then they keep going in a cycle. And yeah, you kind of get tired of saying, hey, this isn't normal. You shouldn't be living like that. You don't need to be treated like, this terribly. But they keep going back. And you think, oh, I have no more words, right? And you as the person who keeps going back, if you are that person, you think, well, nobody cares anymore. I can't lift myself out of this. I keep getting drawn back in, hoping for something better, something to change. And everybody's given up on me. Well, no, I don't think so. I feel like, this is a time where, yeah, there is a change happening. And maybe it's not in the relationship, but maybe it is in the way that your life is set up. You have help. You have people around you who want to help you. They want to be there for you. You have to ask, though. You have to be open, and you have to, show up for yourself. Do not choose against yourself. That is the worst thing that we can do, and we all do it so often, don't we? We absolutely, are really good at doing the thing that we know better, right? I know I am. Last night I was like, I did so well. It was the solstice. So we had a nice dinner and everything was like real. I'm trying to get away from having too many treats and too many sugar things, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to bed. I feel good. And then, of course, those, what are they? The zingers or whatever. I think they're like little chocolate Twinkie type of things. They were on sale at the grocery store the other day, and I got them, and I thought, well, I'll have them as a treat here and there, or, let my daughter have one or whatever. And, yeah, I chose against myself. I had one before bed. And so we're good. That's my example there of, how easy it is. So, don't get down on yourself, right? We're all learning. We're all learning as we go here. And I'll tell you what, you might be in a situation for 25 years and think this is all the world is, and this is all I'll ever know. I chose this, and now I'm going to stay in it. And every time I try to get the courage up, and I do, and I start to leave, and then, I get pulled back in, because it is the home that I've created. It is the family I've created. It's the life that I, had hoped would be my dream. And I get sucked back into it, and I might do that over and over and over again, but it takes just one time to actually break away. And you cannot imagine how much can change in a year. How much can change even just a few months. And then you get years into it, and you think, I can't even recognize that life anymore. How did all of that keep going on for so long? I don't even know. So do not lose hope. You are a powerful being, Libra. Whatever it is that's going on. And now I'm just reading it as, being this turmoil in the relationship, but it could be so many things. It could be so many things. So please, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your life. Don't give up on the idea, the dream. Sometimes it's just a moment where we have the choice to break free. And we take it. Is it easy? No, it's never easy. It's never easy. Let me tell you, it's never easy. But it's worth it. And you can do it. I know that you can. Be careful though. Please take care of yourself. Mind yourself. Okay. So, oh yes, I saw the number 6. Where are you? We have VI. So we have the number 6. I just wanted that. We usually have numbers. Yeah, so we have, that's the number I'm going to go with. This is our lucky number this week is 6. Now, we have the initials TS right here, TS. And I do see that we have, it is an opening to a home. The domus. And the wanting, the doma, right? To be at home. To be in a place that feels like yours. Now I see we have a person down here, okay? Kind of walking. And I feel there is a sense of the need to kind of break away from maybe the immediate now, right? Whatever is around you, whatever you see every single day, you know, your home, your office, your wherever you're at, wherever you work, taking even just an afternoon, driving somewhere, going somewhere, getting on a bus, spending the day in an area, in a place, in an environment that you have not been to, that is novel to you. Maybe going, you know, to a park, a state park, or here in America we have different levels of park. We have like community parks, we have state level parks, we have federal parks, national parks is what they're called. So that's what I mean by a state park. A natural area, a place of beauty, or a different town, a different city, right? Just going somewhere that's different. Go immerse yourself for a little while. Stop and look and see what's going on. See that other people are living in different ways. There are so many avenues to go down. Your path is not limited. It might feel like it, but it is not. So go be in the world for a while. Just listen. Just look. Take it in. Doing these kinds of little trips and you know, immersing yourself in a different place is so helpful to beginning to break up that. I mean, we just have such a hold on our life, even when it's bad, even when things are awful. And for some reason, it's even more so, I think, when we're just holding on to survive the days. Just getting through the thing, hoping that something doesn't go wrong or somebody doesn't completely go off, right? That roller coaster. That feeling of, I don't even want to go into the house. I'm just going to sit in my car and look and just kind of dissociate in a way, but it's like a preparation because you don't know what is it going to be like when I walk in the room. when I open that front door, when I go in the garage or whatever, and I walk in, is the house going to be calm? Or is it going to be the beginning of an absolute nightmare for the next day or two? What an awful feeling. But we hold on to it for some reason because it feels normal, or I don't know. It's what we know. It's what we've always known, maybe. But it doesn't have to be that way. Not everybody lives like that, believe it or not. It took me a lot of time in my life, 30 plus years, to find that out. I've known people, especially women, who are in their 60s, 70s, who lived like that their whole lives. Their parents were like that. They got married young to get away from it. And then they were with like a husband who treated them like that, who had, until the husband passed away. Then all of a sudden they're by themselves. And nobody's yelling. Nobody's throwing things or calling names or whatever. And it's like, you don't even know that life could be this way. And you're almost kind of lonely. It feels like, well, I know I'm talking about myself a lot, but here's something that was so weird to me when I got into my relationship with my husband now. I had to go back to therapy even to work on this at the beginning of our relationship, because I thought he was rejecting me because he wasn't yelling at me or being mad about things all the time if I made a mistake. I thought he wasn't paying attention to me. I thought he didn't care because he wasn't treating me poorly. Isn't that terrible? But it is like that sometimes. You just, it's amazing what happens to us as people, the conditioning, the trauma that happens. And I'm not the only one. Listen, my life has been hard, but it has not been as hard as many people I've met. It's all relative, of course. It is all relative, but it just amazes me, the things that we go through and the way that our mind protects itself, and how much detoxing and kind of reprogramming it takes to even get to a place where we start to be able to have a calm life, to allow people to treat us how we should be treated, right? So anyways, I know this has been a heavy one. It's been a heavy one. But you know what? It's the full moon, I think. I think today's the full moon. It would make sense. This water situation. Yeah, it is. It's the full moon. It is a deluge where I'm living. After I'm done recording here, I'm going to go check to make sure that there's not more water coming in. But, it is. It's a perfect environment for this heavy kind of conversation. Yeah, sometimes these ones need to happen. And, hopefully you've taken something from it. If it wasn't for you, I thank you for listening. And I hope that, anyways, it gives us some insights. I listen to a lot of different readers on YouTube here. And I'll tell you what, I don't always resonate with the readings, but I listen because I'm learning about people. I'm learning about experiences. I like to know how people feel about things, even if I have no idea, right? And so I thank you for those of you who are open and receptive, even when the message is maybe not for you. So anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to do our divine doors. I love these cards. You know I love the doors. The band too. I wasn't talking about the band, but I do like the band. Actually, my husband, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband, Paul, he loves the doors so much. Okay, let's see. We have this beautiful, beautiful, white. I always, whenever I get this card, I think I would make such a mess of those walls. I am so bad at smudging things. It says, a moment's joy, sand through the hourglass, yet time could stand still. A moment lasts forever in the bliss of the heart's will. A moment lasts forever in the bliss of the heart's will. All right. Okay, Libra, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It's free to subscribe. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. The channel has been rugged lately. Not getting as many views as even just like a month or so ago. The engagement and everything else, everything's kind of gone down. So if you would be so kind as to like the video, leave a comment. I love hearing from you, but it also does help the channel get into the recommendations so people can see. We can get more people over here watching the readings and so on. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. I'm scared to go look and see if there's more water. I think we'll be okay though. I think it's supposed to stop raining for a while, but we still have like 2 more days of flood watches. So, you know who's going to be outside at 3 o'clock in the morning checking things out? Yep, that's me. All right. Well, Libra, I love you. Take care of yourself. Happy full moon. Happy solstice. We'll talk real soon. Just in a few days. All right. Good night.